the traditional formats of life. If the weather starts changing, it's very, very special. And being as we are in the desert and the weather has changed, it's triply special. Unfortunately, we have moved from a place where there's plenty of room to a place where there's not. And we can't have people standing along the sides of the walls. So we are going to open the doors and hopefully move to a place where people can see us who are going to have to stand in the halls, I guess. Anybody who is traveling with us, if you are sitting in a seat, will you please stand up and come up here with us? We're allowed to have, we're bending the rules. We're allowed to have you up here with us. And then people who are in the hall, take those seats. Yeah, so now there's room for more people to come in. Come on in. This is going to be great. We're just rearranging. Think of it as molecules that are all coming together in a new way.
Jumping orbits.
Jumping orbits. Yeah, you can take a picture anytime you want. We're happy. Open seats, raise a hand if you have an open seat next to you.
Get Jalila to come up. In the world, come up.
Oh, yeah, you can travel with us. Thanks. Yeah.
Davey.
Okay, if you are a person who could stand for a little bit and you just wish you were traveling with us, come on up. And make room for people who need to sit. Yeah, scoot all the way down. You have to look at the.
You're phenomenal. And we really enjoyed your talk.
We really enjoyed you. Well, we can just say they did. I'm Davy. I'm going to start us off by asking you to remember or imagine a time before you were born. A time when you were getting ready to come into this world, and that source of all life, that source of all truth, that source of all peace and love said to you, will you help? Will you help? There's a need down there, and we need people to come in and help to serve. Maybe you said, I took a turn. Or maybe you said, well, all right. Or maybe you said, I will. Whatever it is that was happening at that moment, that brought you to this moment right now when we're standing here and talking about the things people just don't talk about. That promise that you made, that covenant that you made to participate, to remember that you are part of one great whole. That is what we're here to talk about. And so maybe it's just as well we have a cozy environment, because we're talking about something that's pretty intimate, huh? So, being as we're in this situation where things are cozy, we'll start a conversation, and then hopefully we can all continue.
Thank you. The first time that I feel that I witnessed a physical materialization, I was a young woman. I had already met my husband. We've been together for 50 years. The beloved mother appeared to me, and she called me as daughter, and she called me as child. In this physical apparition, I was awakened to physical manifestation. It was a luminous ear of corn with a human head and human arms and hands, and she was just glowing in the room. The silk that came out of her head was made up of little luminous little stars, and it surrounded her. And her hands were opened in this beautiful, beautiful gesture. And she said to me, she said, daughter, I appear to the people of the world when the earth is in crisis. When I saw her, and you're a young person, it seems that I did not have the capacity to think beyond the moment. And I started to cry. I come from Central America, and we have a lot of devastation out there. if it isn't the devastation of war, the ongoing wars in Central America, the atrocities that are done to women and children, the high illiteracy level, overpopulated women having, I'm a baby of 15, I have no education. And I started thinking about all these things. And I thought about my immediate world, the world that I knew. But I had no idea what the beloved mother was saying to me. I started to shake and I started to tremble and I started to cry uncontrollably. And I would close my eyes and I would open them and I would see the beauty that she was, this beautiful cosmic light. And I just couldn't comprehend it. And not too long ago, after that, my husband said to me, at the time we were just boyfriend and girlfriend, he said to me, it sounds like you're really missing your home. And so he invited me to go to the botanical gardens. And as I started walking into the botanical gardens, what I remember seeing was this huge dome that was made out of glass. And I started to walk towards it. And when I crossed the door with my first steps, the cosmic voice came back. And the beloved mother said to me, "Child, take a look at that. That's the future of humanity." And I started to shake again. And I started to scream to the universe. And I said, "Beloved Mother, this can't be. That we can bring the rainforest into a glass container. How could this be?" I couldn't even speak. I couldn't even cry. I couldn't do anything. My husband put his arms around me and he said to me, "What is going on?" And I remember just grabbing his body and just screaming inside his chest. And I said to him, "This is the future of the world." We're never prepared for the things that we are shown. We're never prepared for the things that we are told. And all we could do is pray. And take care of what we have around us. I live in the desert of New Mexico. And there are the most beautiful little animals that are coming there every day. I have made a little home for them, and I take care of them day and night. And I talk to them, and I pray to them. They're not only physical little animals, but they're also spirit animals. I'll give you an example. Last year, there was a celestial serpent that came into the property. And this 40 acres is 1,000 feet square. And on the east wall, she came moving, this beautiful rainbow light. And I remember just running out into the east side of the property and talking to her and saying to her, "I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you're here visiting." And then I said to her, I said, but don't leave, you can stay here, because I'll take care of you. And then she was so big. And I remember that she was pregnant. And I said to her, if you stay here, I'll take care of you, I'll help you birth your baby. And so every day I would walk that 1,000 feet, and I would just talk to her and stroke her. And on December 18th, she had a baby. And the baby was born, and I was in the main little house, which is a teeny-weeny little ogan. And I heard this little baby, kind of baby chatter, and I ran out. And it was a cosmic chatter. It wasn't like anything that is in the physical. And I ran out, and there was this baby out there. And I said, little baby, you're so beautiful. And the baby said to me, I'm hungry. And I got down on the floor where I could be really close to the baby. And I said, baby, what can I get for you? And it was just the basic element of life. The baby wanted some water, some good water. And of course, the baby said that he also wanted some greens. So now I have this beautiful baby, and I don't know if it's a celestial serpent or if it's a baby dragon. I'm just having so much fun thinking about all the possibilities of what this baby is. But I'm taking care of it. And we've had families of raven coming in and having babies, and families of rabbits having babies, and families of doves and all kinds of desert birds. And the most precious thing that has happened is that we've had a mama frog come down in the water temple, and she laid eggs, and this is the second year that I was able to raise 100 protected little babies, little frogs. And so we can only do what we can with our capacity. And I just wanted to share this with you because if we all did a little bit of our part of what we have to do to, bring the earth back into balance, the heavens, and the four directions, that we could start healing the earth. Thank you.
Greetings. I always love listening to that from Grandmother Maya. It brings comfort. As I was walking around the Parliament and after the majority got to know myself and their grandmothers and the helpers that are all with us, is that one of the things I want to share with you is when you come up and you're so grateful and you thank us, we appreciate that. But we want to do, as we do with my people, it's a mirror teaching, M-I-R-R-O-R. What you think you receive from us is an awakening of your own self. So when you feel this, that's you. We're just reminding you that you have everything inside you that we have. And that's why we call it the awakening. Everyone has it. So for myself, I say thank you. And the reason why I say this to you is because myself, I'm not about, well, neither one of us. I don't think any of you are. We're not about the me of, look at me or whatever it is. It's the we. So when you come up and you're so grateful, it's an honor because we see in you the awakening. And when we see you strong, we feel stronger. Our job is done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely. So we want to take some time to have some sharing of questions and answers or whatever it may be. So I'm going to pass this on to my next dear grandmother, Jamie Witch.
Miss Scully. Oh my God, I'm always so excited when I see the room filled and many, many faces, and it's just wonderful. So I want to ask you a question. How many of you know someone when they walk into the room, they just absolutely light it up? Don't you know people like that? And that's Rose to me, that's Ayla to me, that's that really cute guy over there, Jimmy, to me, and Grandmother Mary in Florida, Mayo, and Debbie. We like to light up the room, and it's a wonderful feeling. So my next question is, how many of you know someone when they walk out of the room, they light it up? So, it's like, oh my God, we're so glad they're out. We can breathe now. It's all about the energy we carry. It's all about what we choose to take with us on our journey and the type of baggage that we choose to take with us. We're all balls of energy. That's all we are. And people feed off of your energy. And you feed off of their energy. It's a powerful thing to think about. So do you light the room up when you're in it? Or do they wait for you to leave so there is light? So it's a question we must always ask ourselves. And it is an important question. I'm so honored to be here. My name is Pershli Ami Tawamana in Hopi. I am of Hopi descent, and I'm honored to be one of the people of peace. And it is our job as Hopi people to bring peace to the universe. And creating that has been a real challenge for all the people in my tribe, not just for me. So it is important that I make sure that my life is always surrounded with peace. But I don't have all the answers. And I'm going to share a little bit about what the legendary Dwarf Chief Crow said. I can give you nothing. You have everything that you need to become powerful. Sharpen your senses as you sharpen your knives. You have a will. Learn to use it. And he said this years ago. And it is our native wisdom that we constantly look into ourselves to understand that we have power beyond our imagination. I've traveled with the grandmothers, and we went on a journey last year, and we're starting our journey from this point. And we have such a riot when we are on our journey. And poor Debbie, it's like herding cats. How do you get them all to go in the same direction and follow your direction? But the wonderful thing about it is that we always have chaos. And the wonderful, even more wonderful thing about it is that the end of that chaos is always a miracle. And every miracle is greater than the miracle that came before it. And so it is in our lives, is that when we are going through chaos, the miracle that follows Sometimes we don't even see it. We're so fixed on the chaos that we don't see the miracle. I'm going to share a quick story with you about the mesquite tree. Did you know that the mesquite seed is one of the hardest seeds to germinate? And nature figured out the best way for this seed to germinate, and that is to have a cow eat it. Why? Because the cow has 4 stomachs. And this seed has to travel through each one of those stomachs, and in that process is broken down by the acid that exists in that stomach. So when it comes out the other end, and it's sitting in a pile of crap, that is the best environment for it to grow. So if you're sitting in a pile of crap, you are just about to start to germinate. And we can see that crap as crap, or we can see it as fertilizer. So I just wanted to share another thing. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm just going to keep on going. They asked us in one of the sessions, oh, do you guys have a PowerPoint? And I said, oh, yes, we do. I'm the point, and there's the power. Okay, and a couple of things I want to share with you, then I want to hand the mic over to my next grandma. I do a thing that I love to write, what I call butterfly inspirations. And I'm going to share one. I pick them out. Sometimes I hand them to people. But this one seemed to come to me that I needed to share this with you. And it's called acceptance. Today I open my mind and my heart to accept all that life has to offer. I understand that I may not always recognize the lesson or the value of all of my experiences, and must learn to be patient and accept that in time I will know the true meaning of all that life has given me. I accept my greatest gift of now, and pray that I will not waste it by worrying and complaining. Instead, I will use now to fill my life with happiness and success. I accept that unbalance comes when I feel I have lost control. I accept that there are times and situations that are beyond my control, but how I respond is still in my control. When these prayers, these inspirational notes started coming to me, I knew that it wasn't from me, but it was from the Creator, for me to deliver this message to wonderful people such as yourself. Now, I want to leave you with grand wisdom, and I didn't have it on a card. But I made this t-shirt. Unfortunately, I don't have it for everybody, but if we can remember that every finger on our hand should remind us, G-R-A-N-D. The first one being gratitude. Express gratitude. Other G, generosity. Next one, R, respect all beings. R, be responsible. A, seek accepting. A, always be accountable. N, nurture your gifts. Remain neutral. D, walk in dignity. The other D, be devoted to love and happiness. Esqually, it's always a pleasure for me to share my commitment to who I am and that I stand in behalf of my children and my grandchildren.
Or whatever your name is. Good afternoon. I want to share what it means to be a grandmother for me. When my daughter was about to have baby number one and a granddaughter number one for me, I promised her that I would be at her side when she had that child. But, you know, God is such a trickster sometimes, right? And she wasn't due, you know, so I said, yes, I would do a wedding like 100 miles away. And wouldn't you know it, she rang and she said, you know, they're just doing a check on me at the hospital, Mum. And I thought, people don't just do a check, they think baby's on its way. And lucky for me, the people that I was marrying, it's one of my jobs that I do, said, how can we help you? You've got to be there, right? And I said, yes, I can marry you right now. And here's the papers, and can you give those papers to a great uncle and get him to do the ceremony tomorrow? And you will sign the papers like as if it was for the first time. And they did that and I was on my way. And I don't know how things happened, but the right door opened at the right part of the hospital, shoot down the corridor, and the nurse said, you have 3 minutes to get in the door. You know, when that child was born, you would think it was the first child that was ever born in the world. I looked at this dear little baby and I thought, thank God I don't have the responsibility for its life. I can just love it, spoil it, and give it back to its parents. You know, but it changes you. You take on a whole new world for those that are lucky enough. The grandmother that brought me up did not have a child herself. So she showed me also, if I wasn't gifted with a grandchild, I would just go around the world and help myself to any of the children that needed. But when you set yourself that first goal, that means you have to go to every birth after that. So of course now I've had 5 grandchildren, bless their hearts and souls, and I've been lucky enough, you know, racing down the countryside or flying up the other end to get to their birth. Because if you are strong enough like these grandmothers and myself, you'll just look like you're allowed to be in that room with that mother. You know, you'll just take on the persona like Grey's Anatomy, you know. You know, doctor, you really need me. Nurses, you really need me. That child has to have me in the room. I just want to share what my grandmother taught me. We gift that child to the east. Oh, hang on, where are we here? To the east. And we let the east feel its face and let its breath go that way. Then to the south and to each south. That. I do this even in New Zealand. But that child gets to smell the directions through you. Through you. Because that's our right. It's my right and I claim it. Then I will ask for the afterbirth. And lucky for us, you know, a lot of people have had their lands taken away from them. I am very, very fortunate and grateful that we have still a parcel of land. Ever be it 10 acres is a lot of acres really, with a beautiful river going by. So I take that afterbirth back to the lands, and I bury the afterbirth, and I put the tree upon it. And then that child knows you belong. Not only has that child heard my voice, and I have proclaimed it to the world, the afterbirth has been accepted by the mother. And I think that's the greatest gift I could do. So how does this help you? Now you're saying, gee, I have 10 grandchildren and I didn't get the afterbirth and I didn't take them. Even if they're 15, turn them around to these 30 years of age, we could do it right now with each other. Because sometimes this is a new awakening. It's a new thing that we feel that we can do this. The land belongs to us and we belong to the land. The earth belongs to us and we belong to the earth. And I look at every colour. I'm looking around the room now. And I say thank you. Thank you for you. Thank you for your ancestors for holding sacred those lands. Whether you live there or not, you have an umbilical cord back to them. It will remember you. Even if you're 5 generations back, it will remember you. Because the umbilical cords were left there. And there's still an attachment. And there's still a love. But it's us now that can rekindle that gift. You go back, sing to the land. Don't give me this thing you can't sing. Because the land can hear you whatever voice you're in. Just mean it from your heart. Stand there. If you're not there in your place of birth now, just bring it into your awareness now. Just bring these places all around the world. Just right this minute. And imagine just planting a tree that has flowers on it. Plant it into the ground. You have a right wherever you've come from. Now, try this. Love. Give it a bit of water. Ready? Love. Again. Love. From your heart. Right here in this room so that from now on in, this place has a living tree of love from us. This is our gift to whoever comes into this room. Again, ready? Love. How easy was that? Kia ora. Kia ora.
I just do this to get attention, all right? Yep. Yep. I love the child in myself, eh?
Yes.
The child in us is the one that will take that little step up, or step out, or step anywhere, where angels fear to tread.
Yes.
So I've always had a mischievous streak. And so for me, when I feel all your energy, I can feel the child in us, okay? So for me, I'm so used to just speaking out right out into the wilderness, because where I live, we have 600,000 hectares of indigenous trees. We generate the plants. So that's the world I come from. And so for me, I have grandchildren, great-grandchildren who live with me, and they keep an eye on me and they try to control me. my 18-year-old says, you know, Nanny, you should be a lot more professional. You need to watch yourself sometimes. He's 18 going on to 80. He also said to me, you know, people should stop driving when they turn 75. Of course, I'm still driving, you see. And he wants to drive instead. So, for me, I just love life. Because for me, when miracles in expression are all perfect, if you're less than perfect, you've got problems, you know. Yes. But to me, we celebrate who we are. And we don't want to be anybody else. The only time I envy other people is people who have their own teeth, you know. Even with my teeth out. So to me, we deserve to celebrate life every day and not take any day for granted. So Mani Maria Turuki Rose Pere from Waikato Morning, New Zealand. So if you come there, you know where I hang out. And all you had to do is ask for Auntie Rose. The whole world knows who I am. So you'll be able to find me. But I want to thank these beautiful grandmothers for inviting Jimmy and myself to come to this, you know, this gathering of, well, just brothers and sisters as far as I'm concerned. So we're all brothers and sisters. Do you like this sister? You better.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. We love you.
Because as far as I'm concerned, no, we are one. And in my tradition, we see the whole of humanity as Ngāti Rā. We are just one with the living sun and the living breath that we all have. So that in my culture, we have what we call a hongi. Come on, Jimmy. Now, the hongi is to remind us that we are related to all the birds. That's the wingspan of the birds. Your eyebrows. Got eyebrows, people? Okay? The eyebrows are also, that's the tail of the whale, and that's the nose. This is the tree here, the crown of the tree. The nose is the trunk. And then when we hongi, we press the tip of the nose and also the forehead to remind ourselves that we have one living breath. And to also remember that we are related to everything that exists. For us, whānau is every living thing that gets sustenance from our Earth Mother, our beautiful Earth Mother. Whānau. Every living thing. We do not see birds, fish, all those are separate from ourselves. We see them as whānau. We see them as family. And so, when we hongi, we remember that. So, we'll just show them, Jimmy. So you hongi with the person next door, right? Yeah. Try it now. Just want to have a bit of fun. Don't take too long. Nice one, eh? I was going to say a hug, but you know, leave that for another time, right? So, if you come to New Zealand, you know where to find me, right? Yes. Yes. Waikato Morning means sea of rippling waters. And so, I'm holding Jimmy's hand because I think we need to do. What do you think? What do you think we should do? Waiata, okay? Which song? Mary had a rock and roll lamb, a rock and roll lamb. Mary had a rock rock and roll, its fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. I got sixpence.
Oh, yeah.
That's Love you all.
Go down.